So okay, we live there. Do you know what time it is? It is recession time. I mean, that's what everybody has been talking about, right? People getting fired right and left. All the uncertainty in the economy. A few months ago, inflation was like very, very high. And basically, when people lose their job, right, they still need to find a way to get money. So that's what we are going to be talking about. What are the other ways out there that you can leverage or use to kind of take advantage of this whole recession thing? And really, how I see this kind of chat going today is basically explaining a little bit about recession verse. I mean, it's a big word that everybody just threw out there, right? And talk after that about the type of businesses or side hustles. I don't want to use the word side hustles though, but I would say just businesses that people can start, very serious businesses that can bring serious cash. So yeah, that's how I see it going.
Well. I think today's gonna be a good one. Definitely, you need to stay till the end. We are going to talk about the businesses that you can start during a recession, and the businesses that are kind of recession proof, and they actually work even better during recession, right? So stay tuned, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And if you have any comment, feel free to put it down there.
So yeah, I mean, as I was saying, right, the word recession is something that a lot of people just throw around without really understanding it. So let me just give like a very quick kind of explanation of this. So basically, when we are talking about recession, it's just a kind of time in which the economy is down. That's like basic.
Yep.
So usually it's around like 6 months. And the way kind of the public or the government kind of measure this is just by checking the countries or every country's GDP, so the gross domestic product, not making it very complex, very simple again. It's just everything that the country produce. Like, so if everything that the country is producing is growing, every quarter, that means everything is good. But if that GDP goes down 2 quarters consecutively, that means the economy is doing really bad, is doing bad. So basically that's the whole concept of recession. And there are like many things that happen during recession, as people losing their jobs, companies not having a lot of market out there is nobody buying their product because people lost their jobs, and etc. So I mean, that goes back a little bit into the periods that we went through in the past few months, or I would say even few years, the past kind of 2 years with the whole COVID thing. Yeah, I mean, that's like a quick kind of explanation on recession. Any thought there?
That's basically it. It's just a downturn in the economy, to put it in two simple words. And what you just said, Daniel, I remember during COVID, everybody was home. We didn't know what was going to happen. The economy was almost shut down. This is what it looks like when there is no COVID, basically. That's what recession looks like. People losing their jobs, people getting fired, and the economy is on fire, basically. Like, I think you feel like the world is gonna end. Someone has said on the internet that you don't know if there is a recession till it hits you, right? So people,
Yeah,
like, we might be in recession right now because some people are feeling it because
yeah,
they've lost their job, they can pay
yeah.
their rent and stuff like that.
Mm.
And someone who is not going through that wouldn't even know that there is a recession. They will be like, "Oh, everything is going well," till something like that
Yeah,
happens to you. So
yeah,
just you have to be prepared for times like this, because this can either make you, because there are some people who actually make money during recession because they come up with ideas to start new businesses, or some people who are not prepared basically lose everything, maybe because they have too much debt. They are not really looking at how much they are spending and stuff like that. They are living above their means. So all sort of, financial bad doings can cost you a lot during a time of recession. So
yeah.
today we are only going to be talking about what you can do, or the kind of business you can actually start during a recession and take advantage of the economic downturn, and see what opportunities you can actually find during a recession. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to start a business, maybe a year ago, or you are thinking about starting a business, this episode is for you.
I mean that's it, man. I mean, one point that you mentioned actually that's actually really really interesting is the fact that some people feel that they are in recession and others don't. And really, I talk about how the government kind of track all these things. And the very tricky or funny thing is not even tricky, it's just funny. The funny thing is that in the past, I would say 1 or 2 years, the GDP growth has been like very steady, so very close to zero, especially in the UK. I know in the US is a little bit above that. And there are some people saying that usually the government just make sure that that growth doesn't go below 0% in 2 quarters consecutively. So basically, the government is faking stuff, right? That's what a lot of people say, but that's
We have the same situation here in the US, where I think in the past 9 months,
mm,
we actually had 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth.
mm.
And basically, the government just kind of changed the definition of a recession and tried to pretend that, oh, things are getting better. You don't want to leave your financial health into other people's hands. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, yeah,
You are responsible for your financial well-being. So you have to make the proper decision for you and your family. And that's what I'm trying to say. So you have to be informed. You have to be on the lookout every day for opportunities that can make you, money, make you financially better and stuff like that.
true that, true that. So yeah, I mean, without boring people with all this recession talk, because I can talk about recession for quite a bit. My background is in economics, so I'm fine doing this. But yeah, let's jump into the business. That we think you can start in these kind of hard times when people are losing jobs and etc. I think we can go by industrial sector type. I mean, which one do you see out there?
We can start with repair services industry. So when we talk about repair services, we are talking about auto repair, appliance repair, and stuff like that. So that's one good industry that is kind of resilient to recession, right? And the reason that is because during a recession, people don't like spending money. The whole point of a recession is that there is people are losing their jobs, so there is less money to spend. Basically, there is less money in the economy in general. So people try to be a little bit more conscious about their spending. So, for example, as let's say you have a washing machine at home, or your car is broken down and you need to, you know, uh, there is some big issue, and like you've had your car for like 10 years and you want to buy a new car. You probably don't want to do that during a recession. You just probably want to fix it, get it fixed, or you know, um, fix your washing machine and stuff like that, or your fridge. So during a recession, people who are in that kind of repairman service, handyman service industry, those people kind of do well because people become very conscious about their spending. They rely on those people to fix their stuff, basically, because they don't want to buy anything new. And I would like to ask to add that, for example, in the US, if you want to buy a car, you can take a loan and do that, right? But today, they just for like on the real estate side, taking a mortgage is like 8%. So when we are talking about
Yeah,
cars, you have to add like 5% on top of that. That's like 12%.
yeah,
So
yeah,
nobody wants to buy a new car and pay like, I don't know, have like a crazy monthly payment on their car. Even if you had your car for a long time, it's better you keep it for the next 2-3 years, right? So mechanics, for example, are going to stay safe in this recession because
yeah.
they will continue getting their jobs. They might even get more jobs because
Mhm.
people are not just selling their cars, they are
Yeah,
keeping their cars. And
yeah,
people who are doing like repairman stuff, fixing computers, fixing appliances at home, they will get a lot of calls as well. So if you are in
yeah,
that industry, kudos to you. If you are someone who is looking to change their career and used to be adjacent in that industry, maybe you want to learn one thing or two, around that industry and start a business there. And talking about starting a business, I myself own like a couple of real estates, and I usually get to hire people like that to work on my real estate sometimes. So if you want to start this business, to start a business, you need a couple of things, right? You need the skills first, especially when you have to rely on yourself to do this job. You need the skills. So you have to acquire the skills, or maybe you already have the skills. And you need the second thing you need sales or marketing, right? So you need to make people aware of your presence, and you need to find your customers, right? So where do you find your customers? So I personally, I use 2 or 3 apps to do this, to hire people. I use an app called Thumbtack, where you can find people, handymen and stuff like that, to come and do work at your house. Or I use a social network app called Nextdoor, which is basically a social network where you can kind of talk to your neighbors. And on that site or that app, I've met a lot of people who I'll employ sometimes to do landscaping, fix, a door or something like that. So these will be the places where you want to advertise your business or your skills, so that you can find your customers. So these are like very basic things that someone in those industries can do to find jobs, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. This sector, in terms of repair, is very kind of bulletproof. Me, I will focus more on the auto parts side of things first. So, I mean, just to give you proof that we are not just pulling these kind of ideas on from our ass or something. Really, like if you check, back in the days when the financial crisis happened, companies such as AutoZone in the US, AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, genuine parts for auto as well. All those companies, they performed like really, really well when the stock market was going down, and that really shows that when things are going really, really bad, people still repair their cars because they don't have money to buy new ones, as Adair said. And from this, a few business ideas really. So you can start selling auto parts, for example. You can do that, but that would require a little bit of capex, and it will require as well to know the parts that people want. And you can sell this on Amazon or eBay. Basically, that's like a very simple side hustle. But if you want to take it to the next step, you can just create like a whole platform where you order your auto part from I don't know, Dubai. I know that Dubai, they do really, really good in this kind of automotive type thing, because cars are very cheap there, and also the government has like tons of kind of subsidies on this type of stuff. Or if you just forget about the whole auto part thing and focus on services. So we were talking about simple services where people need on I won't say daily basis, but people need often, or businesses need often. So just those ones, I don't know, you can create a platform, sorry, for example, where you get together both the people that need the service and the people that are providing the service. I know there is a little bit of competition in this area, but still, you can still do this if you are really, really kind of passionate about it and you want to get the money. I think these are like some of the oldest business industries talking about providing these repair and maintenance services. Can you can get something out of it, really?
Yeah, and I would like to add that there is also an opportunity here. This is not like a big. There is a big market behind it, right? Selling auto parts and stuff like that. But I don't think this is as tapped as people think, because I know for a fact that the US, a lot of people export auto parts from the US. And how do they usually do that? They have access to junkyards, or basically junkyards, where they have cars that were in accidents, that were completely destroyed, and sometimes those cars are even sold on
on auctions.
In auction, exactly. And when that happens, what people do is that they'll buy those cars, because people can't really drive the car anymore. It's not in a state where you can fix it. So they'll buy the car and destroy the car and take the parts out and ship that. I know a couple of companies that do that in the US as well. And if you want to learn more about that, we will put our newsletter in the description. Subscribe to our newsletter, and we will send you a list of all the businesses and competition that already exist in that industry. We'll send you all that list, and you can actually do some research on how those people are able to start those businesses and how they operate them.
Yeah. I mean, when you were talking about, kind of auto parts, like buying auto in auctions, right? That just reminded me of a rich build. So that's how I kind of learned about that thing, because I used to watch his channel all the time. That guy is just amazing. But yeah,
Rich Bill,
I
that
just wanted to point out.
seems like I've heard that name before.
You should definitely check him out. He does exactly what you just said. He just buy cars on auctions and then fix them. And he has, very crazy ideas, like changing Tesla into
I
like
watch him all the time. Isn't he the
okay.
electric car guy?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's here in
He's,
Massachusetts with me.
oh really? Okay. I actually didn't know where he was, but
Yeah.
he's
He's
a
very
genius,
good,
that
very
guy.
entertaining.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
very entertaining.
So I guess we can go to number 2, the second
Yep.
industry.
Mhm.
And this industry is more for people who like saving money. And believe me, when a recession hits, everybody's trying to save money. Okay. So think about Groupon, right? The website where you go and find deals. Think about Retail Me Not. Think about Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club. Think about all those grocery stores, department stores that offer you your product at a lower cost. Those department stores, even if they are not going to keep selling the high volume that they used to, they are not going to go out of business because they sell everyday stuff like your paper towel, your toilet
COVID is a proof
rolls.
of that.
Exactly. People were literally fighting over paper towel, right?
Do you know that could be actually a good business or a good business idea, So you
Sure.
just need to kind of, so basically this is like stockpiling, right? You just buy
Exactly.
a huge
And this is exactly what happened during COVID. There were videos of people who were going to Costco, buying a ton of toilet paper and
That's
putting
crazy,
it on eBay or Amazon and doubling the price.
Yep.
Guys,
Yep,
you
yeah.
remember this? This wasn't 10 years ago. This was like 2 years ago. So this can happen again.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you are sending people out there to buy toilet papers, though. But I mean,
You never know,
basically-
man.
so basically, you need to understand or know what product is, because if you check the previous, previous financial crisis, I mean, they didn't buy any toilet paper. It was there, right? So, I mean, it really depends, because people are just crazy, right? And
Right.
the trend just picks up very, very fast. But
It's true. But yeah, I want to correct that. I'm not telling you to go and buy toilet papers and stuff like that. But this is what I'm talking about. During recession, people want cheap prices, right? Lower prices, lower costs, right? So if we know there will be demand for this during a recession. If someone is passionate about this, there are thousands of business you can start. Even though you have competitors like Retail Me Not, Groupon, and stuff like that, who are platforms where people can find these deals, find promo code and stuff like that. I don't think I've seen this yet, but someone can take this idea and run with it. And hear me out. Okay. It's gonna cost the person a little bit, but not more than $300. Okay. So I believe
$300 or $300,000.
no, just $300. $300.
Okay.
That should be the max that you need to spend on this. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
But hear me out. A membership from Costco, Sam's Club, and BJ's, which are these big department stores, right? Where they sell things to you at a cheaper price. When you get a membership there, I don't think any of them is above $100. Okay. I think Costco executive membership, I think is about $100. So if you buy the membership that is lower than that, you have access. Okay. So let's take it from there. You have those three. Believe it or not, even though these companies are supposed to sell you stuff at a cheaper price, there is still a markup on these two. And the reason why I know this is because I operate a business, an Airbnb, and I buy from all those stores. Okay. I have 2 membership from BJ's and Costco. And on many occasions, I was able to see that Costco's prices were consistently lower than BJ's prices. So based on this information, someone can go out there, find the product, first do some studies about what people buy the most, right? Toilet paper, etc., right? Again, I'm not just telling you to go and buy toilet paper, okay? But to be serious a little bit, right? Go and find out what are the products that the people buy the most from these stores. And apart from that, try to find out during a recession, what are the products that people will need the most? Maybe people who are learning online now, maybe they need an iPad or a computer, whatever it is, right? Maybe try to create a newsletter based on this, where you compare the different prices of the same product across all these stores. Try to find online. So use your competition, Groupon and Retail Me Not, Honey, all these guys, right? To find promo code for all this for the same product. So take one product, for example, make the comparison from Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's, try to find the lowest price among those 3. And on top of that, Amazon, eBay, all those guys, or even some of the online stores, try to find coupon for that same product. So every week, try to find 10 products, write a newsletter where you detail the pricing and where people can find this deal. Go to Substack or Beehive, create a newsletter, and keep sending these out every week. During a recession, I know people will go to Groupon and all those things, but because you have done the study and found the product that people need the most, and you have actually found the lowest price across the web, right? Ultimately, you will get some people to subscribe to you. And by that, you created a business because people can pay maybe a $2 or $3 subscription fee to be part of your newsletter so that they can get these deals. And this, because if you think about Retail Me Not and those big platforms, they do this in like a scale where it doesn't matter the specific product, but you are being very specific. So that takes that makes your product more valuable, because the user whoever is going to read your newsletter, it's not going to be overwhelmed with 100 products, right? But they know exactly what they get when they subscribe to you. So, and to market this newsletter, you can make some small TikTok videos, breaking down these prices. And at the end, you ask, hey, subscribe to my newsletter so that you can get more of this information. And you start making money like that. That is a very good business to start during a recession.
Yeah, I totally agree with all the things you explained, and really that's a really good one. On my side, really, in terms of like discount kind of shops, well, what I was more thinking about is really the kind of platforms or Chrome extensions that collect the discount codes.
Right.
Everybody knows that AI
Honey.
is Honey. AI is very, very powerful now, and maybe there is an opportunity on that market. There is always an opportunity, and if you have a background in kind of IT or tech, you can go ahead and build one, and I'm sure that's not going to take like too much time. You just package it in an extension or an app, and then you market the extension, and you get people to kind of install it on their Chrome or their browser or whatever, and then you start getting a little bit of money. So
and let me add something to what Daniel said, right, to make it a little bit more concrete for you, right? During a recession, or right now even, I'm not even talking about during a recession, right now, there are a lot of car dealerships that are not selling their cars, and it's costing them a lot of money. I would not advise to buy a new car during that time or right now, because the interest rates are just too high. But here's something you can do. If you are in IT, know a little bit of coding. If you can write a scraper, something that can scrape the web pages of all those auto dealership. You can start with your area, okay? Scrape the site of those auto dealership. Some of them are reducing their prices. So if someone install that Chrome extension and is looking at a certain car and click on your extension, what you should do is go and find all the other sites, all the other dealership around their area, and see which one has the lowest price, or give them options of lower prices around. I don't think I've seen anything like this, but
No,
give them options or a list of lower prices for the same vehicle
mm,
around your area. And
yeah,
I
I
think
actually,
that will be
sorry.
something really cool that will make you money.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen anything like that, to be honest. I'm not in the kind of car purchasing market, but yeah, I haven't I haven't seen anything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are really really good ideas. Yeah, and for most of them, right, the capital needed or the capex needed to get into those to start those businesses are not really much. They are like very
Yeah.
very low. So it's all about your desire and what you really really want to do. So those are a few ones. I think we can move to the third one. So the kind of third industry that's very very kind of attractive and performs really really well in during recession is online education, right? So basically, as we were saying at the beginning of the pod, a lot of people unfortunately lose their job. The people that didn't, they will all of the people basically will just try to better themselves really, and they will be thinking about, oh, what skills can I learn to kind of better myself, and etc etc. So for those things, there are a few platforms that offer those kind of courses. I'm talking about Coursera here, and
Udemy,
Udemy exactly, and others. But
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, and there is still a space there. If you want the very slow kind of way, you can just create a course there and then market it. But beside kind of creating a course, again, this is an idea that we talked about before: newsletter. So you can create, a newsletter talking about a specific kind of skills, but breaking it down into like few parts and sending one a week, or just a newsletter talking about side hustles. Basically, doing what we are doing here now, just to die in a newsletter. And I promise you that if you market it well, a lot of people will subscribe to it, and you start charging and start charging them. Just imagine, right? If you are charging them, I don't know, £1 per person, and you have, I don't know, 1,000 subscribers, and out of those, let's say 500 are subscribed to your kind of premium version. That's like £500 a week. So that's a decent money to start with. So
I think people should take this seriously, especially if you are already in tech and you have a high skill or like a high level skill, like software engineering, um, cybersecurity, data engineer, AI engineer, all that stuff. Because what happens in recessions is that when people lose their jobs, usually the first thing they do is, what can I do so that I can find my next job, right? And sometimes people will realize that, okay, maybe my skills are not up to date with the market, and the skills I have now are not so valuable anymore. Okay. I'm not saying this is going to be super easy, but if you have a skill that is kind of in demand, right? Like AI, for example. And with AI, there is a lot of cleaning of data, right? So being a data engineer or an AI engineer, if you already have those skills, or maybe cybersecurity, everybody's working from home these days. Okay. So that means all the computers are connected through some kind of internet connection, VPN or whatever. And a lot of companies are running this risk of being attacked by cyber criminals and stuff like that. So there is a lot of demand for cybersecurity as well. So this is where the market is going. If you go on Twitter today, there is more talk about AI than anything else. So when this happened, the recession happened, yes, investment is going to dry up a little bit in this field, but because they are the main thing that people are looking at now, the small money that is left, right, it still has to go somewhere. And investors want their returns. So they are going to put it in things like AI. Look at NVIDIA stock. It's all-time high now. If you own any of that, you know you are good. So whether AI is going to solve anything or not, that's where the money is going now. So if you place yourself near the money, you might get a little bit of it. That's all we are trying to say. And I'm going to give you a concrete example of someone. You can go and search this. The name of the person is Zach Wilson. He's a data engineer. He was making, I believe, $600,000 at Airbnb. He quit that job, started an online course, right, that he wrote himself about data engineering. And in 6 months, he was able to build his course business to generate that same 600,000 that he was making over a year, over 6 months or 9 months. I don't remember exactly, but he has written a blog post. If you want this blog post, subscribe to our newsletter. You will get an email of all the things that we are talking about with links. Okay. People who will be graduating during a recession are going to have a very tough time finding a job. Okay. So I'm already giving you the kind of people you should be targeting with your product. Okay. Because if you are a senior, you've been in this industry for like 10 years, you know a lot of things that someone who is coming out of university doesn't know. And them having a computer science degree or whatever, they don't have that background. So these experience that you have, turn it into a course and, market it to those people who need the experience before they can get the job. Because during a recession, nobody's going to hire someone who is coming out of university. They are going to hire the senior guy and pay them the salary of someone who is coming out of university. That's what is going to happen. You as a senior person will be competing with people who are coming out of university and everyone else. So this will give you an edge, basically. You have an extra income coming from your courses. But again, it's not as simple as just recording the courses. You have to sell it. You have to find the audience to sell this course to. So Zach Wilson has a very, very good blog on this. Subscribe to our newsletter and you'll receive all the links to that.
On to the next one. So the next one will be like a debt collection. So obviously in these kind of tough moments, people have a lot of people are unable to pay basically because some of them will lose their job due to the unfortunate kind of situation. And really, you can train yourself in how to collect debt. And here, I'm not talking about thug debt collecting, because I know there are people in the hood that do this. So yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about forcing people and muscling people into paying back. But I'm talking about like a proper course on how to collect debt. You can get those on Coursera, or you just check on YouTube, right? You'll find something. Yep. And after that, you just go and reach out to all the businesses, small businesses in your area, because these businesses are the one that usually struggle to collect these debts, because they don't have the kind of financial resources to go and then pay for like an expensive debt collector or like a lawyer or whatever. So, these kind of, the dentist of your neighborhood, the landscaping companies, and et cetera. So those will be, your ideal kind of target. And, there is a huge kind of commission usually on these kind of jobs. When you get one done and, the debt is collected, you can get like up to 20 to 40%, off the debt that was collected. So that's a really, really juicy money out there. But yeah.
Yeah. And again, we are not saying it like, oh, it's easy. You just start your company. No. That's not what we are saying. You actually need to do work. You have to go and learn. There are rules about how you collect debt as well. You have to go and study those. Okay. But the thing is, you are not going to run out of job during that time. That's what it is. A lot of people are, the whole reason why we have a recession is because people are in debt and they can't pay them. That's basically it. The government is in debt and people who are in the, in society are in debt, So you are not going to run out of jobs. You just need to look hard. That's all it is. But if, you owe a dentist $1,000 and you can go and collect that debt, it's going to be hard because people don't have money. But you have to think about it like this. If you create a company today, you run into recession maybe 6 months from now, you already establish yourself. Yes, it's going to be hard to collect the debt, but let's say you don't have anything else to do, or you lost your job and, because you have set up this already, you have a couple of companies reaching out to you, you have something to do. And whenever you collect debt, you get 20 to 40% return on your investment, basically. So you have to think about that, because these are the people who are making money on this. And I actually know someone who has grown a company from $0 to $80 million just as a debt collecting business, right? $80 million business now. And I'll be happy to send it to you through our newsletter. So don't forget to subscribe.
Guys, you have to subscribe to the newsletter because you're missing out. You're missing out. Yeah, on to the next one there.
This is going to sound a little bit like a repetition, but it's going to be developing your IT skills, basically. So if you are working in a different type of industry before and you got fired, or for some reason there is a restructure of your organization or company and you lost your job, what happened during the recession is that a lot of people or a lot of companies are going to get rid of some of their employees. Why? Because it's a recession. There is less business, basically. So just think about the stock market 1 year ago, right? Microsoft fired 10,000 employees. And this is an IT company, okay? Facebook, about 12,000. Amazon, 12,000. So all these companies fired so many people who were already in IT, right? But over this year, a lot of those people got their job back. That's just because most of the companies that are not in IT actually need a lot of IT services to prove the performance of their businesses. So regardless of whether there is recession or not, yes, some IT people are going to lose their jobs, but there is still a bigger chance for people who are working in IT to maintain their job or to get jobs. Why? So think of someone who is a dentist, or I don't know, a landscaper or something like that. Maybe they have, I don't know, less customers during the recession, right? And maybe they had like 5 or 10 sales guys. They are going to get rid of maybe half of those people because they can't pay them anymore, because they don't have that many business anymore. But what they are going to do is find ways to make their process a little bit faster, a little bit more performant. And to do that, they will probably need some kind of software, some kind of tech services or IT services. And on top of that, maybe getting rid of those 5 people, they can hire one IT guy to, take care of security, installing software, any of those IT things, right? So some of these small businesses will have to reconfigure how they do business. And a lot of people are going to start thinking about IT. One good example of this, right? When COVID happened, a lot of restaurants which didn't want to be on Uber Eats, Grubhub, and all those food delivery apps, what happened? They were forced to, because that was the time. People weren't going to restaurants. So any of those food restaurants had to create an account on those things. And once they create the account, they need someone to monitor the orders that are coming in, right? And if something breaks, right, they need someone to fix it. So that's one example. So this is what we are saying. Like during these times, some people are going to need these IT services. Even people who didn't want it, they are going to be, I'm losing a lot of money here having people doing this work. How can we do it faster and better? Usually it's going to be software. I work in software. I know this.
So yeah, those are, our 5 kind of business. Those are more than 5, but in terms of industry, those are kind of 5. But, since we love you guys so much, we'll add one last for the bonus. So here, this one is about home maintenance. So this is something that I actually didn't know. And I had to kind of Google around and do a little bit of research to understand it. So as human beings, we have categories of spending. And when the recession hits, the first spending that everybody cut is holiday spending. And that goes, no matter what the country is, holiday spending, and everybody cut that down. So that money of holiday spending, people will still have a bit of it. People that, manage to keep their job or are, in a decent kind of economic situation. And this money, what people do with it is improving their home. And I'm not talking about, big improvement. I'm talking about what's called do it yourself. And, during recession, home maintenance stores that sell do it yourself kind of product, they thrive. They do really, really well. If you go check the stock market in 2020 and then even going back to the financial crisis, these companies they did really, really well. So
Sure.
There are opportunities around this. So the first one could be you, if you are a handyman or understand how most jobs are done around, the house. You just go on internet, go to YouTube and start making videos to explain this. I know there are like a few videos around this already, but I haven't seen any channel so basically I will see one channel that's focused on painting. I'll see one that's focused on this part of the things. And I mean, I haven't seen any platform where, there are just tons of do-it-yourself kind of thing. So this is like a great area where you can just create content and then just share it with people. And beside the videos, there are other ways to create, those type of content and then, just share those with people. So that will be the last one on my side. I don't know if you have anything to add in there.
Yeah. I just want to kind of say that's a good idea. Like you'll be kind of blown away by the amount of people who are doing like kind of building handy stuff on YouTube and the amount of views that they are getting. You guys know we are not getting any views, right? So but if you go to any of those channels, they are getting a lot of views. Okay. And there is just something about the human brain that likes seeing things being built. So if you have any of those skills, you should be taking advantage of it. Not only that, but you just making videos, recording yourself working because you already are in the industry, right? You don't even need to like talk. Maybe like 2 months into it, you can start talking, but just record yourself and put it on YouTube. I'm telling you, someone will watch it. I'll watch it. Send me an email and I'll watch it. Okay.
Just do a Mr. Bean for the beginning. Do a Mr. Bean by just, I don't know, just moving stuff around, not making any, any noise or not speaking at all. But yeah, I mean, those are 5 ideas, man. So yeah, thank you very much for, staying with us. You need to subscribe to our newsletter to get, all those juicy link and all the things that you need to thrive. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe. The link is going to be in the description. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's a wrap.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and comment as well. Me and my buddy, we making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy, we working hard for this money.